Hey guys, I hope you're doing well today. Today's going to be a palette review, and this is going to be on the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill Eyeshadow Palette. I believe this launched in mid to late June, I forget. I did get it during the first launch. It was a gift from my boyfriend, so thank you, Matt, if you're watching. You're probably not. I believe this is the second time that Jaclyn Hill had collabed with Morphe, so here is what mine looks like. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts. I have some little tutorials. I filmed one on this one today, and swatches will be included either in the middle or the end of this video. I'm not really sure where I want to put them, but let's get into the review. First, let's start off with the packaging. It is a white cardboard packaging. It says the Jaclyn Hill palette and Morphe. I believe the Morphe normal large palettes are like a plastic packaging, so that is different. And the box that it came with was white as well, and it had Jaclyn's face on the back and a description of the palette. And on the back of this, it just says Morphe x Jaclyn Hill. Here's a look at what the inside looks like. I'm sure you guys have seen it all over social media, but here are the colors. As you can see, there is no mirror. That doesn't really bother me that much. It only really does if I'm traveling, because I do have a close-up mirror at home where I do my makeup. But if they're traveling, I can see why people would be upset that there's no mirror. Also, the shade names aren't on here, which is pretty frustrating to me. I was not one of the people who got one of those inserts with the shade names, so I actually have a file on my computer with all of the names on it, which is pretty frustrating. So that is a downside to this palette, especially if you're a YouTuber and you film tutorials and you want to readily have those colors available and the color names so you can tell your audience what you're picking out to wear on your eyes. Personally, I don't mind the cardboard packaging itself. I just wish it wasn't white, because I don't even own any white clothes. I'm a very messy person, and anytime I wear white out in public, I always manage to spill something on me, so I got rid of all my white clothes, which is pretty much the same with my palettes and my makeup. I don't really have anything white. I've been trying to keep this as clean as possible, and I think I've done a pretty good job just because I've been babying it, kind of. Here are a look at the colors again. I believe there are 18 shimmers and 17 mattes. If I made a mistake, I will put it on the screen, and I think the color scheme is beautiful. It is a very warm-toned palette with some pops of color. I do think the color scheme is really nice. This palette retails for $38 on the Morphe website. It's currently out of stock, but I believe in August sometime it is being restocked. I calculated the price per eyeshadow because there are 35 eyeshadows in here. So if you divide 38 by 35, the price is around $1.09 USD for each eyeshadow, which I think is a pretty good deal. I think you are getting a good value for your money. I will have more in-depth swatches at some point during the video. I'll have it in the description box. So I'm going to just swatch a couple of my favorites off camera, and I will be right back. Here are 4 of the colors that I really enjoy from this palette. So the matte on my hand is M.F.E.O, or Made for Each Other. Pool Party is the metallic blue color. Firework is that coppery red color, and Queen is this beautiful metallic kind of liquid gold orangey copper color. I think they are all beautiful. And while I did do the swatches off camera, I do want to show you how the swatches apply on the hand. So let's go in with this color right here. I'll put it on the screen because I forgot to look it up. Didn't rub that hard, so that's what it looks like on my finger. Hopefully you can see that I'm really bad at swatching on my arm. My memory card was full, so I just removed all my swatches off my arm and my hand. So I do have a clean arm and hand to do swatches now. So now I'm going to go into a matte color. Let's go with this shade called Creamsicle. And it is a beautiful creamsicle orange color. So I'm pressing very gently and swirl it around a couple times. Here's what the pigment looks like on my finger. I'm going to swatch it on my arm. As you can see, it was pretty smooth. And I know people are curious about matte black colors, so this is the shade Abyss in the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill palette. So I'm going to swirl it with my finger, and I'll just swatch it on my right arm. Damn girl, that is some pigment. So that's what it looks like on my finger. I'd say that's pretty black, and for one, I'm not really a big fan of black shadow. I typically just use it as an eyeliner. Those are just a couple swatches from the palette. Bottom line, I do love this palette. I think they are the best eyeshadows in my collection, and I'm not just saying that to kiss Morphe's butt or anything, because I'm not a Morphe affiliate or anything. I am a smaller channel, so they don't even know who I am. But I would totally recommend this palette. If you don't have colors like this, that's what I'm saying. You don't need to buy this palette if you already have 10 warm tone palettes. I would just try to dupe some of the colors if you have a lot of palettes or a lot of singles. I have a smaller collection. I only have this palette, a Z palette, and another pre-made palette and a couple singles, so I don't have a ton of eyeshadows currently. And this definitely suits all of my needs for eyeshadow. If this was my only palette, I would be fairly happy with it. There are only a couple things that I would add to this palette. One would be a matte cream shade. I think Jaclyn did a good job of making a palette to suit a majority of skin tones, because there are a variety of different transition shades. There's some darker shades that deeper skin tones can use as crease shades and transition shades. These metallics are gorgeous. They pop on every skin tone that I've seen. I've seen deeper skin tones to pale skin tones like me. I think the blendability is perfect, and the quality, pigmentation, and honestly, there's not a ton of fallout in my opinion. I'm a savage when it comes to my eyeshadow, and I never tap off my brush, so there might be a tiny bit of fallout, but that's really not much compared to my other eyeshadows. I have some Too Faced shadows that have more fallout than this. I'm definitely keeping this in my collection, and I will still be using it and loving it. I think the $38 price tag is justifiable for this. It is a higher priced Morphe palette, but I do think this is higher quality looking at the ingredients. And I haven't actually used Morphe eyeshadows, but I've heard mixed reviews about the 35O palette. I've heard pretty good reviews about the 35O matte and shimmer palettes and other ones, but some other palettes are hit and miss, and I definitely feel like this Morphe palette is a hit. Overall, I would recommend this palette, but only if you don't have a ton of these different shades and warm tone palettes, and if you're interested in supporting Jaclyn Hill. I'm a Jaclyn Hill fan. I'm not really going to get into all the drama surrounding the palette. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested, I will have mini tutorials after the review portion and the swatches. Guys, the first tutorial is going to be a warm toned eye look with a champagne lid and warm crease. I already primed my eyes, and the products will be in the description box. I'm going in with Faint all over my lid on a Sigma E55 eye shading brush, and I like to pack it on and then kind of blend out the edges with it a little bit, but go over most of my lid with the product. Now we're going in with the Morphe M433 and the shade Made for Each Other, and this is going to be the transition color into my crease. So I'm just blending that out with light pressure, but still packing the product on. Still blending. Now we're going to use a detail pencil brush and go in with the shade Firework, and this is going to go on my outer corner, kind of like outer third, I would say. And I really enjoy this shade. It's a really pretty metallic color. And then blending a little bit of Hunts into the crease, which is this fiery orangey red color. I think it looks really nice with Firework. And then packing a little bit more of Faint on the lid just to help with blending a little bit. And then I believe here I just went in with no additional product and just started to blend out the edges a little bit more. And then I'm applying a brow bone highlight that's not in the palette. This is H&M's Fine China, and I'm just using a brush that I got from Beauty Big Bang. And I had already applied my makeup off camera, everything but my lower lash line. So for my lower lash line, I'm going in with that IT Cosmetics angled brush and Firework again all over my lower lash line. And as you can see, I'm just carefully placing it there. Beam. It's a gorgeous yellow toned highlight color, and I think it's super pretty. And then I had already applied some lower lash mascara, I believe, at this part. So now I'm just applying some Urban Decay Heavy Metal glitter liner in the inner corner called Midnight Cowboy, I believe, just for a pop of glitter. And then here is the final eye look. I loved this look. For my second tutorial, it's going to be more of a cool toned look with a pop of purple. I already primed my eyes, as you can see there, but if you see my brother in the back of this video or a little creature running around, my brother's watching my puppy while I'm filming this eye look, so thank you, Kev. But anyway, I'm going into Hustle from the Jaclyn Hill palette all over my lid with a flat shader brush, avoiding the outside corner a little bit. It's really pretty. Now I'm going into Buns from the palette, and I originally put this in my crease, but I didn't love the way it looked because I wanted this look to be a little bit more cool toned. I do wish there were more cool toned matte shades in this palette, but that's okay. I pulled in MAC Blackberry eyeshadow, which is, I believe, a matte or satin color, and then I'm blending that into my crease over Buns just to make it a little bit more purpley. Now I'm bringing in Soda Pop from the palette and going in to my outer corner with a detailer brush from It Cosmetics, and I think it really blended pretty well. I liked that color a lot. Going in with more Blackberry just to intensify the look a little bit more and kind of make it more cohesive and blended. And as you can see, my brother's chilling in the background with the puppy. Now for my brow bone highlight, I'm going in with H&M's Fine China, the same one that I used in the last tutorial clip. And then I'm just intensifying my lid a little bit more with Hustle, just from what got blended away. And it still remained pretty intense, but I just wanted to put on a little bit more. Now I applied my makeup off camera. That's the majority of it besides my lower lash line. For my lower lash line, we're going to use Royalty, that gorgeous purple right there, with an angled brush. The brush is actually double-sided, so that's also the pencil brush that I used. In the inner corner, I'm going to be using Faint, which I also used in my last tutorial. I'm using a very small detailer brush from Do Care, and it packs on the product so well into the inner corner, and I loved the way it looked. So here is a close-up of my eye look. I think it turned out pretty nice, but I do like the warmer one a little bit better just because I love my warm tones. And there's Winston, little puppy I'm watching. Just thought I'd include him in the video. And now we're at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in my next one. Talk to you later. Bye.